Hi, everybody. It's episode 460 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It's Tuesday, June 6th, 2023. I am Chris. With me is Drootin.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Yeah, I'm here.
You break something?
No, he's mowing the lawn, I think, in my front yard.
Oh. Home ownership, everybody.
I mean, of all the things we've been able to hear come through Richie's microphone, the fact that we could not hear that, but could hear a bird like a half mile away.
Yeah, that is actually kind of funny.
But you still
Rich.
Can't hear the lawn mowing?
No. So like you have a bird in a tree like a block away. We can hear every chirp. But like a dude mowing your lawn right outside, we don't hear a thing.
The bird is right next to the window. Be honest, it's not even it's not even a block away. It's like in the window. But yeah, he came to me and offered me $40 a week to mow my $40 every 2 weeks to mow my lawn. And I was like,
you have a decent sized yard with a lot of obstacles. That seems reasonable.
I was like, yep, sounds good. And he did a little bit of yard work for me and charged me $50 for it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to pay you $50 a week for the next couple of weeks. And then for the next 5 weeks, and then we'll go down to $40 a week. And once he's done a certain portion, it's actually going to go down to $30 a week.
Oh, nice. So like basically once it's like just upkeep and not like actually cleaning it up.
Yeah, it'll be, once all like the big stuff is done and all he has to do is mow and weed whack and that's it, it's going to go from basically 50 to 30 every 2 weeks.
That's not bad then.
Yeah.
I think the couple times we've had somebody do ours and like we don't have much yard, it was like 20 every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely have more.
Yeah, I was surprised that he's mowing because I don't have grass right now.
Yeah, everything's kind of dead at the moment.
Yeah, it's but I think he's just doing the front apron.
Keep it down so it doesn't get out of control and make it harder to do later.
Yeah, I mean it's his thing, so whatever he wants to do. I paid him already, so however he wants to do it.
Nice. Well, let's just jump into it. What's on the agenda?
So Cobb, you went to Philly Fan Expo or Fan Expo Philly, whatever it is.
Close enough.
Drew, you played the satanic game, Diablo IV. We all watched Gone in 60 Seconds, or at least we should have. I watched a fuck ton of anime and stuff this weekend because I couldn't really do much else. And Cobb, you finally caught up on My Hero Academia. My brain broke for a second.
I was gonna say you had it in front of you and you just could not get it out.
So full disclosure, I'm fidgeting and I've got so basically I bought a cabinet and I have an anchor screw that came with the cabinet because you're supposed to anchor it to the wall. I'm not gonna fucking do that. So I'm playing with the anchor screw while I'm reading it, and I almost dropped the anchor screw, and that's kind of what broke.
So what I'm hearing is your cabinet's going to fall down and break.
Probably. I noticed today that it's angled, but it's because it's on an angle. So like between my kitchen and my living room, which is where it's at, there it goes from carpet to linoleum, and where the carpet and linoleum meet, there's a metal thing that goes over the carpet and linoleum, and it's angled more towards the carpet than it is the linoleum, so it's tipping a little bit.
How did you fit a cabinet there?
I measured.
But like, doesn't Jensen's stuff just kind of flow into the kitchen?
We cleaned it out.
Oh, good job then.
Yeah.
Good for you. Proud of you.
Thanks.
But yeah, so this past Saturday, we went over to Fan Expo Philly, which is formerly Wizard World.
Nice. Was it as much of a shit show as former Wizard Worlds were?
You know, it isn't, actually. Like, they have issues with just the floor layout, in my opinion, but I feel like they're righting a lot of the issues that Wizard World had with just general setup.
Mm-hmm.
Weird thing, there was almost no security check to get in.
That is weird.
Like, there were no metal detectors at all. I forget, was it PAX Unplugged where they had like the cool fancy ones that you just walk through and you don't have to like take anything out of your pockets or whatnot?
No, that was Comic-Con. That was New York.
That was New. Okay, I couldn't remember. Yeah. Actually, remind me when we're done. There's a New York Comic-Con thing to mention also. But yeah, so didn't even have those. Nobody like wanding people. All they had was they had a very lackluster bag check. I had like a backpack with me that it was empty. It was basically there to like, put stuff in if we bought things. I unzipped like 2 compartments and didn't even put it on the table. I just kind of had held it up. And before I could even get to the table, the girl just kind of waved me by.
Mm-hmm.
And Erica basically had the same thing happen with like, she had like a small like purse with her. So like they just gave 0 fucks.
That's not good.
Yeah, like that had me a little like, really guys? Like, yes, like, great, but trust people, but also, this is America. Don't trust people.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Yeah. But like, it was busy. They're using, so if you guys will know this more than the listeners, so I apologize for that, but I'm just trying to give you both an idea of what they're using. So when you go, the last couple of years for PAX Unplugged, when you go into the Broad Street entrance of the convention center, so that's the main entrance you go through, you go up the escalators to the right, and the very first room on like the far end of the convention center is the room they're using, where the doors for it are actually facing Broad Street. Which PAX usually doesn't use. PAX, you usually, if you come in that entrance, you still go down the hallway a little ways to, like, the larger room. So this is it's not a small room, but it's a smaller room compared to what some of the other ones are. And they had it packed, but also not packed. The front, let's say half of the room, was broken up into, like, your exhibitor vendors, like the people selling, like, Funko Pops and actual merchandise, not as much crafts and artwork. You do have some of them in there like any convention, but it's much more like the businesses are selling in that section. And then as you get further over in the aisles, it turns into the artist alley, which, while better laid out than last year's, it was very small, kind of cramped, and for whatever reason, they changed the aisle orientation. So it's a longer room versus a wider room. When you first walk in, the exhibitor aisles are long ways. When you get over to Artist Alley, they then switch to horizontal. So you have to like reorient how you're going through the aisles when you get over there. And there's not really like a clear separation. It's just suddenly the aisles change the way they're pointing.
Mm-hmm.
But like overall, like none of the aisles were too narrow. Like Rich, from New York Comic Con, like walking on the show floor there, it's fucking impossible because of how narrow some of those aisles are. Like, when you get to that, like, far side of the room.
Walking anywhere at New York Comic Con.
You're not wrong. But specifically on the show floor, on, like, the far side where it's, like, more just, like, the 8-foot booths, you basically can't walk through there because they're so narrow and there's so many people. There were a lot of people here. There were a couple traffic jams just because of the way certain booths were set up with the merchandise they had. Like, the fucking root beer thing that they always put in the worst goddamn spot.
Yeah. I hate those root beer things.
But, like, none of the traffic jams were that bad that we didn't get through fairly quickly. But, like, there was still, like, a whole half of the room that just wasn't being properly used. So once you got past the exhibitors, the rest of the room was broken up into the cosplayers that, like, are there selling prints, which is just, like, one little section. A whole tattoo artist section, where, like, people were legit, like, doing tattoos and stuff there. Which is cool, but also, like, I feel like that could be situated better to then just give more space for the stuff that's being sold that people are, like, there to, like, buy and see versus booths that you have to make an appointment to get a tattoo at anyway.
Yeah, I feel like, I've never been to a tattoo convention, but I feel like if you're going to have a convention for tattoos, and have tattoos on it, you should maybe give the tattoos their own room or something like that, and not just...
Or at least a better, like, I don't want to say separate section of the show floor, because that almost makes it sound like you're, like, segregating it away, like, to, like, not be seen. But, like, just give it, like, a better cordoned off section so that people can go back there and, like, specifically, like, make appointments, get in line, be ready for it. Mm-hmm. As it was, like, it was one aisle literally in the middle of everything. And there were, I don't know, maybe a dozen tattoo artists. And they were mostly like a bunch of them, actually their banners specified they were Lucasfilm licensed tattoo artists. So, like, they were legally allowed to tattoo, like, an Ewok on you.
That's weird.
Yeah. And, like, I get it. And, like, Drew probably actually would even, like, find it, like, more useful, like, like, at a tattoo convention thing, because if there's, like, an artist that, like, you really like, but is in California, like, that's, like, your chance to actually get, like, art by them, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And that's even what one of the people from Wizard said that we were talking to, like a lot of those guys, like, they do multiple shows around the country with them every year, like, between just working at, like, their home location. And, like, a lot of people will book time with them on, like, Friday for, like, Sunday to get something by somebody that they really like.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, Drew, like, your most recent tattoo, the angel one.
Uh-huh.
Was that one sitting?
Yes.
How long?
5 or 6 hours.
And, like, how long what about your leg? Like the big Grim Reaper?
That was like 8.
8 hours or
hours, yeah. One sitting, 8 hours.
So, like, you're talking, like, if you're going to one of these things and you're looking for, like, a specific tattoo to get done, like, that's your whole day.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to hope that somebody else didn't book the time.
Yeah. I'm not, like, tattoo convention is one thing, because, like, usually also it's not really that expensive to go to a tattoo convention, I don't think. I've never been to it. But, like, for
I went once. It's actually really cool.
Like, the fan expos and shit like that, I'm not down for paying for a day or two and spending the entire day in a tattoo chair.
Plus the cost of the tattoo, don't forget.
Plus the cost of the cost of the tattoo, I'd be paying it either way. It's the idea that I have to pay to get in somewhere than to get the tattoo. I like tattoos. I don't have any. I want some. But I'm not going to like them that much to want to pay to get one.
Yeah, and like some of that stuff is very specific to, like I said before, it's like, it's a tattoo artist that you follow their work, they're someplace in the country that you cannot easily get to, and the cost of a ticket to the convention, even a weekend pass, is cheaper than the travel to wherever they normally work out of. So I get that.
To Richie's point, I just looked, the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention. Next year, the weekend pass is $50 for 3 days.
Yeah.
Whereas
it used to be cheaper than that.
But
still, $50 for 3 days, that's not even
compared to Fan Expo, though, which I'm assuming is like maybe $100 for the weekend.
It is something along those lines, yeah. I think the Saturday pass for Erica was around $50.
Yeah, so a single day pass for Fan Expo is $50, which means the weekend pass probably looking at about $100 to $150. I'm not down for that. I'm not down for, even if I get a 3-day pass, I'm not down for spending one of those 3 days sitting in a tattoo booth.
So the Fan Expo prices for next year, the full price weekend 3-day pass is $100. 1 day is $48.
Yeah.
And Rich, I completely agree. Like, I would also not do that. I do understand the idea of, like I said, like, if your options to get art by like a specific person you really admire is travel to, Florida or California or Oregon or something like that and pay hundreds of dollars in airfare, hotels, plus the tattoo itself versus, $100 for the weekend and the cost of the tattoo. Like, I get that. Like, if you are that into getting tattooed.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I know a lot of artists for the tattoo convention will start having a separate thing where they start doing booking for the convention in advance.
I do think that they do that for this too. I believe that's what one of the guys from Wizard or from Fan Expo said. And
they probably have like things you can schedule way in advance, and then this way they can block out their time. But they also have sort of like a walk-up scratch tattoo where like you can go and be like, I want that. And it's something that they can have pre-rendered, pre-prepared. And it's like, all right, this is going to take me 20 minutes. Let's get it done.
No, they absolutely did. A couple of them actually had signs. So they had like their book of like basic like line work tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple of them I saw had like signs up and like the giant 20-sided dice that basically said, or actually they were 100-sided dice. It said, roll a dice, get whatever number you roll.
That would be a fun experience.
And like they were all simple, and it was like, I think it was like $100 for black and white or $150 for color or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like they had a few stipulations for it, like it was only like arms and legs or something, like easy surfaces to do it on, like where you didn't have to be in like a weird position for a long time or anything like that, or like shirt off, whatnot.
Yeah.
So like they definitely did have that, and I imagine they do the same, like Drew was saying. They probably, like, artists in Artist Alley do the same thing, where when they have shows coming up, they post on their social media like, I'm going to be at this show. Commissions are open for this show if you want to book something, essentially.
Yeah. If you want to order something to pick it up or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Little different for them, because when they do it ahead of time, that means they can actually, like, they can work on those commissions before the show and just have them ready for you. But, like, the concept is still there.
But I mean, same with the tattoo artist. Tattoo artists, you can tell them what you want, and then you can have pre-consultation, and they can design it. And then this way, when you get there, they can just set it up. It's just, to me, I don't know, I just find it weird that, like, it's Fan Expo, so it's different. It's not Comic-Con, it's not Wizard World, it's Fan Expo, and there's fans of tattoos, but, like, an event like this with a tattoo section is just weird to me.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Look, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a cool idea for the people that want to do it. I just think it could have been placed better on the show floor. And they, like, a lot of, like, the stuff past the expo area was just very under-trafficked and very underutilized from what we saw. Like, we didn't even really walk back there. Like, we walked into the tattoo section just because it's like, what the fuck is this? But otherwise, like, they had, like, the big booths taking up space with, like, the recreation of the Jeep from Jurassic Park. That's at every fucking...
Yeah.
Like, just stupid shit like that, where it's like, you guys could have used the space better. I understand why you have this stuff, because it does, like, draw a crowd to it. But, like, that crowd is also impacting people getting around that don't give a fuck about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think that was literally their biggest issue, is just floor layout. And I feel like that is my biggest complaint at almost every convention. And, like, I know it's not as easy as just making a change and having it just work. Like, there are so many concessions you have to think about, and placement of things, and thinking about, like, what sort of lines are going to form at certain booths. And, like, some conventions get it better than others. Some of them, like Fan Expo, definitely did a better job with the floor layout this year than they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, this is only the second actual Fan Expo one. So, you know, they're improving. Where I feel like Wizard World was kind of on a decline for a long time. To the point where, like, we just stopped going. And now it's, you know, it's back on, it's getting better again. There weren't really any panels on Saturday that, like, I was interested in, so we didn't really check any of those out. And even, like Friday and Sunday, like, nothing really jumped out. Like a lot of these conventions, they did also have a ton of celebrities, which is not something I normally, like, go check out. But they had, like, the Doc, Marty, and Biff from Back to the Future. They had a bunch of Smallville people and Arrowverse people. They had fucking Rufio from Hook, who's also the fire dude from Avatar.
Who's Zuko?
Yeah, the one with, like, the scar, the like the main fire.
Yeah, it's Zuko.
Yeah. Yeah, I only recently found out that his voice actor is also Rufio from Hook.
Oh, yeah. Mark Hamill plays his dad.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I believe Fire Lord Ozai is Mark Hamill, if I remember correctly.
I did not know that. I only watched 10 episodes, so I don't think I ever saw his dad.
Yeah, it's Mark Hamill, and in the movie he was Cliff Curtis, but no one really cares about the movie.
Like the live-action movie?
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but bad things.
It was. Not saying it was bad, it was.
Yeah.
That's all. And the live-action adaptation is supposed to be the guy who played Sun from Lost.
Son. Oh, okay.
I think that was his name.
Oh, no, you mean Daniel Day Kim.
Yeah, Daniel Day Kim, yeah. I couldn't remember his, like, real name.
Yeah, his name wasn't Sun, though. The wife was Sun, I believe.
The wife was Sun, yeah.
It's been a very long time. But overall, definitely enjoyed Fan Expo. We went, while we were there, like, we got to see a couple people, that, like, we know, like, working at different booths and all, like, a couple, like, artist, writer friends of ours that, like, have, like, some cool stuff going on, which I can't actually talk about because it's not announced yet, but, like, they've got cool shit going on, and I'm super happy for them.
Nice.
Yeah. And then personal best thing ever, I fucking found a Turna Gundam, Gunpla, at this fucking show.
Nice.
Yeah.
It took me a second, because I thought you said Eterna Gundam, and I'm like, what's Eterna? And it's like, no, Turna Gundam is a series. And I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah, so the Turn A was the one that has, like, the weird mustache.
Right. I vaguely remember that.
That is my favorite Gundam show. It is just such a weird, amazing show that looks like a Ghibli movie with giant robots.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like... It is one of the few Gundam series that never got dubbed. Like, the only way to watch it is to buy the Blu-ray set. Like, it's not available on any streaming platforms. It's not digital anywhere. It is, like, one of the hardest... Like, you can find the Gundam show that was canceled. Like, so few people watched it that it fucking got canceled before it finished. Which never happens to anime.
Yeah.
You can find that shit easier than you can find Turn A. But I happened to see a booth selling, like, model kits, and I was, like, just kind of, like, you know, like, looking through them, and I fucking saw the Turn A, and I grabbed it. I'm just like, holy shit. Like, it's unfortunate. The only downside is it's a high grade, which is technically, like, the lower end of the model kits. But it was only $18 because of that. So it's not like it was super expensive or anything, even though they're pretty rare. And I almost couldn't get it because the booth couldn't process credit cards when I first got up to it, because the Wi-Fi service in the convention center is shit. But as I was standing there kind of like looking at stuff, the guy's like, I just got a bar if you want to try real quick. So I'm like, absolutely, fucking go for it. Like, just fucking process it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. That's the worst part about the freaking Philly Convention Center, is having any sort of service is horrible.
Yeah. Dude, Javits Center is not much better if you're on that expo floor. There's just so much going on up there that a lot of booths end up just having the worst time trying to process credit cards.
Yeah.
I think so. Erica last year, and you guys might have seen it. She wore it on Saturday too. She did like this like pseudo Luffy cosplay where she bought like a red denim vest and she has like patches and pins and stuff all over it, so it looks like a punk vest.
Mm-hmm.
When I went, I think it was the day that I went with you actually to New York last year. I bought a couple patches and pins that I found that were one piece there so that she could put it on the vest, and it probably took them like 20 minutes to be able to get the sale to go through because it just kept crashing. And like it said they had signal, but every time they put it through, it would just crash because there are 30,000 people in a single room there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, like I would definitely say like if you're looking to go to Fan Expo for like comic stuff, it's not the place to go. There were 2 vendors selling comic books. But if like you're just looking for like cool like pop culture stuff, a lot of really cool like crafty sort of things, like woodworking is huge right now. So many booths selling like both like cool like laser cut artwork, but then also like hand burned artwork stuff, like all over the place. Like it's such like good quality stuff.
Yeah.
It's totally worth going just for like that stuff alone. And like they have a very respectable artist alley right now. They didn't have a ton of big names like they did last year, but they had a few. Like Dan Slott was there, and he surprisingly had no line. If I would have known that, I probably would have brought an issue or two of Spider-Man to get signed, because when he does go to New York, the line's like around the fucking block at his tables. And then like Joe Quesada, who was the former editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, he was then like chief entertainment officer. Like he was somebody very high up in Marvel Entertainment as a whole. He also has a prolific career as an artist at both Marvel and DC. So like him being there was like a big deal. And then like a bunch of other just like known people, like not the sort of people that like draw the giant crowds, but like people whose names, if you follow comic books, you see, and you're like, oh shit, I know that guy. I have books that he has worked on. So like, yeah. Overall, definitely a good time. I don't know that it's worth a 3-day pass at the moment, but it's definitely worth like going like 1 or 2 days. And frankly, at that point, you might as well just buy the 3-day pass, and you can go over if you want any of the days.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it seems like this would definitely just be a 1-day thing. Like, buy a Saturday pass, or look at the panels, see if there's any good panels on either of the days. Buy that 1-day pass and go there that one day. Like, it doesn't seem like it's something it's gonna, or not that it's gonna be big enough, but it doesn't seem like it's something big enough right now to require multiple days.
Yeah, and like right now, I think it is still in that like sort of growing phase. Like I said, last year they had more big name artists. I feel like this year they had more big name celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like that's not like a section of the convention I ever go looking at, so I don't know what that I don't know what those crowds and stuff look like.
Yeah.
You know what? I will say one other thing they do that I like, that a couple other conventions do, but I feel like they're doing better, is they have that like live stage on like the show floor, but it is off to the side, so it doesn't really like interrupt or block anything. And they do regular just interview stuff on there. So like the celebrities will just come through and do like Q&As and stuff like that. And it's not like the panel rooms where you have to go down there and like wait in line to and like all that stuff. They just have a bunch of seats and you can just kind of like go over, sit down and like watch and listen if you just need a break or like super interested in the person that's up there talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's cool because it doesn't take you away from the show floor. You don't have to feel like you're missing out on anything if you do want to get up and leave, because odds are like you can just run over and then come back if you want to or something like that. So yeah. Other than that though, yeah, it's a good time. I enjoyed it. I probably actually enjoyed that one day at Fan Expo more than the 2 days I had at New York this past year.
Okay. Yeah. I want to go back to New York this year, but I wasn't 100% thrilled with New York last year.
So you probably did see, but they announced that the full cast of Critical Role is going to be there this year.
I did not see. They did not announce it on Critical Role yet, so they'll probably announce it this week if they do.
It was announced today, like I saw it on social media. So, yeah everyone's going to be there. I love the images underneath, show like, it's like the New York Comic Con stuff, like it was in Critical Role posting it. But they have, like, the little tags underneath of, like, what they're known for. And, like, some of the stuff is just, like, funny. Like, every one of them says Critical Role. But then you have, like, Liam, I think, is the voice of Gaara in Naruto.
Yes, Liam does Gaara.
So, like, his says Naruto. Travis says Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, because he was not Armstrong, Mustang.
Yeah, exactly. The one that I thought was the funniest, though. What do you think they had down for Laura Bailey, who has voiced fucking everything?
Who's a BAFTA-winning actress who got a BAFTA award for The Last of Us. I'm going to definitely guess it's not The Last of Us.
No, Ashley Johnson got The Last of Us.
Who's also won a BAFTA award for The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else Laura Bailey's in. She doesn't really have that recognizable... I think Bulma.
Wait,
Dragon
you
Ball?
really don't... You don't know, like, you don't recognize Laura Bailey's voice when you have it?
Not as often as, like, when I hear, like, Mercer and shit like that. Like, Mercer, Travis, and Liam I can really recognize more so than, like... And Ashley, because she has such a unique voice. But Laura, I didn't even realize that she was Nadine in Uncharted.
So, when... And I mean, this is my, like, I've heard her on Critical Role. She can do different voices. She tends to do two voices when it comes to voice acting roles. Kind of like a higher pitched, like, younger girl voice. Or like a lower pitched, like, sultry voice. Like Lust in Full Metal.
Yeah.
So, she was a voice in Dragon Ball, though. You're right. She was Kid Trunks.
Right.
Up until Kai. She has not been the voice of Kid Trunks in 20 years. That is what they listed as the thing she was known for.
Oh my god. Totally selling her short. Absolutely selling her short. Like, I mean, they could have put Critical Role and The Last of Us Part 2 for every single one of those cast members.
Yeah, and like, every one of them had Critical Role because that's what the big thing was. The cast of Critical Role is going to be there. And like, I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, no, like Liam, like Naruto, like that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Matt had Overwatch, totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like those are big properties.
Yeah. He is. He's the cowboy dude from Overwatch.
Yeah. Whose name they changed? I think. I'm pretty sure they changed his name. Right?
I can't remember his name.
It was McCree. I'm pretty sure it's different now. But yeah, and like I saw hers, I'm just like, fucking a thing she hasn't done in 20 years.
That's weird.
Like, and it'd be different if they just hadn't been Dragon Ball and somebody else wasn't doing the voice. But somebody else is doing the voice and has been for the last decade.
Yeah.
I'm just like...
Because he's Kid Trunks in Super.
Yeah. And I forget who does it in Super, but it's not her. But, like, yeah, Last of Us would have worked, Persona 4, Full Metal Alchemist, Gears of War.
Oh, right. She was. You know what? I think a lot of the stuff she's been in, I have not played, which is why I don't recognize her voice.
Yeah, I think I've heard her voice in enough things that I do just. I recognize. It's like Troy Baker. Like, I've heard Troy Baker just enough that even when he's doing a different voice, eventually he'll say something, and I'll be like, "That's fucking Troy Baker," and I'll look it up, and it was fucking Troy Baker.
Yeah,
like she's the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole cast will be there. So might be worth going at least one day if you wanted to try and meet them or something.
I mean, that would be nice since I didn't get to meet them when they were at the first PAX Unplugged. But honestly, I would only bother if they're doing a live show.
Well, and that was the other thing I was going to say. They're definitely doing panels and stuff like that. I imagine they might do a live show just because it is. I think they're there the whole weekend. So I don't know what day they normally record because I believe they're still. They're not doing Critical Role live still, right?
No, but I don't know. They say they're not, but like they some of them have been caught watching chat while they are supposed to be pre-recorded. So like sometimes it's pre-recorded and sometimes it's not. Like when Marisha was in Creator Clash, which was in Miami, they finished their stream just in time to be able to watch Marisha in Creator Clash. So it's like, I mean, maybe they pre-recorded it so that like once it like where they were done right at 7. But like, I don't know how early they're pre-recording right now. But they do say they are still pre-recorded.
It's probably safer to say they're pre-recorded than saying that they're not, even when they aren't, just so people can't like bitch that it's pre-recorded.
Yeah,
because like that's what people would do because people suck.
Yeah.
But enough about conventions. Drew, how the fuck is Diablo 4?
It's Diablo. I mean, I'm only as far. I just passed the stuff you could play in the beta, so
okay,
it's stuff I've seen twice already.
What class?
I'm playing a rogue.
I heard that one's fun.
Yeah, you can kill shit, lots of shit, really fast.
I forget, what did you play during the betas?
I've played.
You did 2 rounds.
I've played
of
everything
betas, right?
but Barbarian.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't realize you had actually cycled through everybody.
Yeah, I mean the betas were up to level 20.
Yeah.
So,
I thought you could go past level 20. I thought there was just no content left.
No, there is content, but your character only levels up past to 20. You keep playing, and there was shit to do. But you got no experience, so I would get to 20 and then be like, okay, new character.
And progress also didn't carry over, so there was no point really, unless you did like the world bosses and shit like that. Then like you got stuff for when the game released.
Yeah, but
right, because didn't you get like a pet or something like that?
You got like horse armor shit. Like
everyone
literally.
loves horse armor.
Have
you gotten a mount yet?
Nope.
Okay, I know. So I actually a podcast I was listening to earlier. They had Rod Ferguson and somebody else from the dev team on talking about it, and I thought it was cool that and I don't know if you know this. Apparently, once you unlock the mount, you have it on all characters, so you don't have to unlock it again per like character that you roll.
I did not, so that's because I inevitably will play probably everything except maybe Barb. Barbarians are lame.
That was at least how they worded it. Hopefully they weren't like misspeaking about it or anything like that. But yeah, apparently like it'll unlock across the board, so you only have to go through that once because, you know. And there was something else, like you can skip stuff after you've done it once. So like if you play the whole story through with one character, you do not have to do it all again with another one. You can just streamline everything.
Okay.
So like if particularly if you're doing like the rank ladder stuff like in the seasons, you can skip all of the like story structure stuff and just do the dungeons like streamlined, which like is also kind of cool. If you're playing it for years, you probably don't need to do all the cutscenes and stuff and all that shit every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're you, I'm sure you want to do that stuff every time. I know how much you love scripted content.
Totally. I mean, I don't pay attention to the story in Diablo games, really. I mean,
I don't know, man. The story's kind of cool in them usually.
Yeah, I pay attention to it the one time.
That's all you need.
I never got to pay attention to Diablo 2's story because whenever we played it, I just got rushed into Diablo 2.
So you should have played it when everyone else did the first time so that you knew what was happening.
I did. And everyone was just like, skip it all. And so we skipped it all. So I have no idea what happened ever in Diablo 2.
I mean, I could tell you.
Nah, I really don't care.
I could tell you in 30 seconds.
I'm into... Do it. I want to hear you hear this.
So Diablo 2, you're following the Dark Wanderer you're following is the whatever
warrior from Diablo 1.
Yeah, is the warrior from Diablo 1 who took the Soul Stone, jammed it in his head, and is now just wandering and respawns is there. That's the story of Diablo 2.
Yeah. And then you kill Diablo in Diablo 2, and there's actually a quest after you kill Diablo to destroy his Soul Stone at the Soul Stone Forge in Hell, but they retcon that when the expansion came out, and you don't do that anymore, so that Diablo could always come back. That was honestly the biggest kick in the face to me, that I was like, alright, Diablo's dumb now.
I mean, like,
you never destroyed Diablo's
No, you did. You did. You destroyed Diablo's Soulstone.
No.
I swear, you destroyed... Before Lord of Destruction, there was a final quest to destroy Diablo's Soulstone.
Nope.
I swear. I swear on my life.
There is a quest to destroy Mephisto's Soulstone, which you get at the end of Act 3. It is the quest before you fight Diablo. Before Lord of Destruction, there is nothing story-wise after killing Diablo. You kill Diablo, instantly a cutscene plays, game's over.
I mean, Rich, if this was any other game, I'd probably argue, like, maybe you're right. But, like, Drew has played Diablo 2 so many times, he could probably beat it with his eyes closed.
If it wasn't randomly generated maps, yes.
No, I don't care. You could probably still... You could just
I guess
listen.
inevitably you could just click around enough, and
you'll just listen for when you're clicking on things. Like, fucking, Rich, you'll have to correct me on the name, because I'll get it wrong. In Elden Ring, one of the last bosses, maybe the last boss, is called, like, Malekith, something like that.
Yeah, Malekith, like the big guy, right?
Yeah, he was pretty big.
Yeah.
During GDQ, some asshole beat him blindfolded.
It doesn't surprise me. Those fights are muscle memory and pattern recognition. If you listen to their cues, you know how to kill them. Or generally, those people who do the blindfold runs and things like that, or the blindfold kills, it's going to be, I have this epic loadout that can kill them in one hit.
No, like it was like a legitimate fight for him. He did not have anything like super special from what I saw, because a lot of times there were quite a few fights where he got hit once and his health was gone, and he was good enough at the game that he was able to still win the fights. But like that was just one of those, like, man, that's a big fuck you to people that like struggled on this, isn't it? I had never seen anyone do like the soul stuff blindfolded, so it was just a little more, wow, that's fucking impressive. But Diablo, so where did the beta end? Because I don't think I got to the end of the beta.
I mean, it's still in Act 1 stuff.
That's
fair.
You find the daughter of a character whose mother was chasing after Lilith, and like you find her, go through a dungeon, find the mother gets killed.
Right, because the mother like became like a demon for Lilith or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then I think after that, I did this, and the daughter kind of she's like, I need time, and she like wanders into the woods by herself, and you then go find her, but like the woods become like this weird like nether realm for a little while, and like a wolf spirit guides you through it.
I found out a thing about that wolf spirit, which is very interesting.
What?
I mean, it's spoilers for story things, so I don't necessarily want to say story spoilers for a game that came out 24 hours ago.
That's fair.
Most of the people who really care would have been playing it since Friday.
I mean, fair, but still.
I like the story in Diablo, and I haven't gotten it.
According to the Diablo wiki, in this regard, the heroes were successful as the Soulstones of Mephisto and a recently defeated Diablo were destroyed using the Hellforge Hammer. Baal and his Soulstone remained at large, however, and tracking down Marius, Baal retrieved the stone, now named Shard of Destruction, intended to corrupt the world. 100% there used to be a quest where you destroy Diablo.
1000% no.
Play Diablo 2 without
I
Lord
fucking have, Walnut.
Play it now without Lord of Destruction installed.
There is no quest after Diablo. Trust me, Walnut.
Dude.
Well, listen, let me fucking finish my sentence. there might be cutscene thing where that happened, but I'm telling you, there has never, ever, ever been a quest to destroy the Diablo's Soulstone ever. Period. End of story. I literally have a version 1.0 copy of Diablo 2.
Why?
Because I've had it since it fucking came out.
Oh, you mean like the disc?
Yes,
like
I have
still have the physical disc.
Disc copy of Diablo 2 1.0. Like, not even eventually all the discs you could buy were 1.08 or 9. Like,
yeah, so eventually it got bundled in like the chest
Diablo
thing.
Yeah.
So
they've never changed the quest in Diablo. They've only ever added on.
The way that paragraph read, it did sound like it happened at the same time, like it was part of a cutscene.
Yeah, because you destroy Mephistos, and then you go back and you destroy Diablos. I 100%, I have strict memory. Like, I remember defeating Diablo and having to go back to the Forge to destroy Diablo.
But how long ago was that, Rich?
I mean, as a child. But why would I have such a specific memory of this?
Dude, I've had some weirdly specific memories about things that, like, I've gone back to and been like, oh, that is absolutely not what happened.
But when Lord of Destruction came out, they stopped showing the destruction of Diablo's Soulstone.
Well, yeah, I mean, why would you kill the main villain of a thing that you're going to make a franchise out of, right?
They retcon the game with the expansion.
I mean, they retcon anime all the time. Look how many anime characters and comic book characters die and then just come back.
Yeah, but that's through plot. That's not just, oh, we're just going to undo it.
That's basically what comic books do. Let's be realistic.
True. But that's why I don't read comics.
Well, that's why you should start reading comics. Timeline bullshit, alternate universes, and just death doesn't matter. Death in comic books is like points in whose line is it anyway. It's all made up. But Drew, do you think you're going to like play? Well, I guess you said that you intend to eventually go through and just play all the characters.
I mean, probably. It depends exactly how I'm feeling, but it's the Diablo game. I'm fucking sure I will.
I was gonna say, like, how many hours did you put in Diablo 3 in the last 10 years?
500 plus.
Yeah, so you'll definitely do it eventually.
Yeah. I mean, again, unless, like, the game falls apart later, but from all I've heard, Super does not, so...
Which is awesome. Like, the little bit I played during the beta, like, it played super well. Like, it was a little buggy just from, like, server load not being balanced yet, but, like, the game never crashed or anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
I did something else from the podcast I listened to that I thought was funny. Apparently Rod Ferguson's favorite character is the Necromancer. Apparently, at least during the beta, the Necromancer was a little overpowered.
Oh, the first beta, it was fucking broken as fuck.
And apparently, like, when it had some actual issues, it was the quickest one they got fixed because the lead producer on the game found the bugs right away and had the team fix it.
Nice.
Which I just think is funny. But I guess, would you guys like to talk a little bit about Gone in 60 Seconds?
Sure.
All
right, Rich, go ahead.
All right, so it was my pick for a Nick Cage movie, and because it was one of, honestly, shockingly few actually free on streaming services movies. I picked one of my more favorite movies when I was a child, and one of my more favorite Nick Cage movies, Gone in 60 Seconds. And, I mean, obviously, the movie didn't really age well.
It didn't age bad.
It didn't age bad. There's, like, not that much, like, not cool humor in that, or not cool, like, themes or anything in that. Like, I feel like the movie could pass today, but it's still, like, a few things just, I don't know, it felt a little off. But I did not realize that Eccleston was the main bad guy when I used to watch it when I was a kid. He looks so much different than he did when he was the Doctor, in my opinion.
Yeah, because even that was 5 years later, and he had a lot more hair. Like,
yeah.
Not like he's balding in Doctor Who, but he had more of like a buzz cut in Doctor Who, and in that movie he had like a full head of hair.
And I feel like his accent was toned down in Gone in 60 Seconds. Like, he still had it, but it wasn't as strong as when he was the Doctor.
Yeah. I mean, out of curiosity, you know that he was also the Invisible Man in Heroes, right?
I didn't really watch Heroes.
Oh, I thought you did watch Heroes.
No, not the original run. Like, I didn't start until into like season 3-ish. I don't remember how many seasons was
it was
the
4.
First. Was it 4? So yeah, I think I was like I started maybe midway through season 2, maybe just in the beginning of season 3. I started watching it because I was still, like, kind of before On Demand, and, like, at that time, me and Eric were weird, and we each had our own shows, and so I didn't watch his, he didn't watch mine, and I had not a lot of interest initially in Heroes. I don't think he did either until it came out on DVD, or HD DVD. So yeah, I didn't watch the first couple seasons.
Okay, well, that's fair then. Yeah, Eccleston, it was basically the year after Doctor Who was a reoccurring character in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did not know half the people that were in this fucking movie that were in this movie.
Timothy Olyphant, I was like, holy shit, it's Timothy Olyphant. That's awesome. This is like one of his first gigs, I think.
You know, it might be. I don't know how long he's actually been acting. Fucking Vinnie Jones is in it though.
Vinnie Jones, man.
Robert Duvall.
Yeah, it's
Will
got
Patton.
It's got a great cast, and like the movie itself. Like I don't know what people reviewed it, but honestly, the movie itself is entertaining enough. It's a good, in my opinion, it's a good heist movie because it's not slow. It's just goes. And like the first hour is building up to the heist, and then the last hour is the heist, and the heist itself is very fast paced, and it goes pretty rapid. I've always enjoyed it. I've always had like a fondness for it. I think part of my love for this movie was the fact that my dad loved this movie, and so I loved watching it with him. But it's just like, to me, it's such a good, solid film.
Yeah. Drew, what did you think?
I fucking couldn't tell you a fucking thing that happened to me, honestly.
See, I liked it. I had fun with it. It is definitely a movie that exists before Fast and the Furious. If this movie had come out 2 years later, it would have been a very different movie.
Yeah.
Because I looked it up while we were watching it last night and saw that this movie came out almost exactly a year before the first Fast and Furious movie.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like, just knowing how big Fast and Furious was compared to this, like, this movie would have just been different had it come out a little bit later.
And I feel like... Go ahead, Drew.
Sorry, I don't think it was bad. It was just a level of, like, uninteresting to me that the minute it ended, I forgot basically everything about the movie other than that Nicolas Cage's character was, like, it was just a thing that existed.
It definitely has that feel of, it's definitely like a popcorn movie. Like, it's not a movie that you're necessarily supposed to walk away from, like, thinking about afterwards. You're just supposed to be kind of entertained while it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely could not tell you, like, fine details about it, because that was the only time I've ever seen it, too. But,
yeah,
like,
I mean, I could probably, I can't say I could probably go scene for scene, but I could probably recreate a good, decent amount of it in my head, but that's because I've seen it as many times as that. Anytime it was on TV, anytime I had a chance to watch it, and it was just there, because I think it used to be like a TNT or a TNT show movie all the fucking time. So anytime I saw it on TNT, it was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right there. I will say, like, it had some good comedy moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything with Master P was very funny.
Yeah.
Like the first scene where fucking Vinnie Jones blows up his fucking car. The second time where Nick Cage's little brother fucking attaches the semi to the car and just rips the frame out of it.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff was great. There's one scene during all the car stealing stuff. Where Chi McBride, who was the black dude on, like, Nick Cage's team, him and I forget who was with him. One of the brothers' friends was with him. And, like, they're driving the car out of the garage, and like,
Michael
a mugger
Pena
comes running up. No, that wasn't Michael Pena. Michael Pena was, when the two guys were walking the dog.
Okay.
But yeah, he was in it too, and I'm just like, holy shit, that's the dude from Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But the guy comes running up, shoves the gun into his face, and says, get out of the car. And, like, Chi McBride just, like, looks at him, just goes, son of a bitch, and, like, pulls him into the car, like smacks his face against the car, gets out, starts kicking him, calling him lazy. He says, you need a mentor, and then, like, gets in and drives away.
Have some damn respect. Do the hard work. You need a mentor.
Yeah, and like, the guy in the car was just like, damn.
Yeah. So I do remember I was a dumb kid, and I never really understood the story of Eleanor. And so my thought processes as I was a kid forever was that Eleanor that they steal at the end of the movie is the same car that he tried to steal like 4 times. And it took me until this watch to realize, oh no, it was 4 different of that kind of car. Which then blows my mind that there's 4 different of that kind of car in the Long Beach area. Which that's like an expensive ass fucking like muscle car.
Yeah. You figure though, it's the early 2000s. It's around Hollywood.
Yeah.
And like, cause he even makes the one comment going into that one like, high-end car dealership where he's like, I saw 4 of these $1 million cars outside of like a thing in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Like that was like fancy, expensive cars are just all over Southern California like that because they can be. But they never tell us how long of a time period it is either. Like he could have tried to steal those over the course of like 20 years.
Yeah, like it's probably safe to say he's at least 40 in this, or at most 40 in this movie. So,
well, 20 years ago, he's almost 60, so he's definitely late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah. So yeah, it is safe to say that like over the course of his 20 years before he leaves, because he left 6 years prior, so over the course of like 20 years from him being a kid to like mid to late 30s, he could have tried to steal it. We do have to talk about the most important part of this movie, the jump.
Oh, that was such a like video game thing.
That jump, I never realized. Like I thought going into it, I knew about the jump, and even when he was about to do the jump, I was like, oh yeah, he goes to the other side of the bridge. That's right. No, he fucking jumps over like half a mile of fucking traffic in this car.
Had I not seen 9 Fast and Furious movies since then, I would think that was ridiculous. But I watched Vin Diesel jump a car from one building to the other 4 fucking times. So like we're good. We're good just doing fucking Evel Knievel.
Was it Tyrese and Ludacris are in space in a car? Like
yeah, they take a fucking used car to fucking low orbit.
Yeah.
And like that. There's that one scene where fucking Vin Diesel like jumps a car off a bridge, jumps off of that car that is going off the bridge, catches Michelle Rodriguez, and fucking just like lands on another car and then gets up and like chases somebody.
Doesn't The Rock like pick up a torpedo, turn it around, and send it back at the?
He catches a torpedo.
Yeah, like he stops a torpedo and turns it around or some shit like that.
Yeah, and fires it back at the guy that fired it at him.
Yeah.
He also in so that's Fast 8. In Fast 7, he fucking flexes out of a cast after having his arms broken. He has not been in the cast long enough for for the bones to have healed. Absolutely no way. He just flexes. He's getting dressed in the fucking hospital, flexes out of the fucking cast and tells his daughter that daddy has to go to work.
He heals from the power of family, okay?
And then he picks up a fucking
minigun
Gatling, minigun.
I think that came off of like a drone or some shit, or he's shooting it at a drone. It came off of a helicopter.
It might have been off of a drone. And I think he fired it at a helicopter.
Yeah, it was one of those combinations. But yeah, so that jump, I remember it being a lot less epic as a kid because I didn't realize like how far he jumped. Like I said, I thought my brain was just like, oh yeah, he jumps to the other side of the bridge and he just makes it down there and it's fine. But that just all of the car sequences in that movie were just really good. The car chases, like you said. It's a popcorn movie. It was I don't know when it was released. Probably a summer action flick or
June,
summer.
Yeah, it was June.
Yeah, so it was a summer movie to get people in seats. Because a lot of people are going to go to the movies during the summer, especially at that time because they weren't as expensive and there was air conditioning.
So did you guys know this was a remake?
Nope.
Yes, but I've never seen the original
remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a movie, Gone in 60 Seconds, that was made in 1974.
Mm-hmm. I think it's black and white, right?
I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you any of the actors in it. I've never heard of any of the people. But, yeah, it's a remake. There was something else about this I was going to say. Fuck, what was it? Oh, the scene where they're getting ready to steal a car and it has the club on it.
Oh, yeah. And
I thought that was hilarious because it had the fucking club and I haven't seen one of them in 20 years.
Yeah. And the fact that he just takes he's like, oh yeah, here, you just take the wheel off and you put a new wheel on there and boom, you're fine.
Well, did you hear the line he gave when he did that?
I can't remember.
So I only remember this because I repeated it to Erica because I actually thought it was very funny and kind of clever. He takes off the steering wheel, hands it to Angelina Jolie, and said, "I learned how to do this in car thief retirement." And then I remembered at the beginning of the movie, he's working at a fucking go-kart place. They take the fucking steering wheels off of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's actually a really good, like, subtle callback to what he was doing when the movie started.
Yeah. The one thing I could have done without was that they didn't have to focus so much on the two people in the house having sex.
Yeah, I thought that was just kind of weird. Like, it didn't add anything at all.
Like, the whole story between the two, but I think she was Swift, right? Or was she Sphinx? Can't remember. But the story between Memphis and Angelina Jolie.
Sphinx was Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones. So she was Swift, right? I think that was her name.
I think so.
So, like, the whole story between them, that's fine. Them being, like...
Sway. Her name was Sway.
Yeah. Them being all, like, you know, flirty and whatnot. Like, that wasn't the uncomfortable part, but it was just all of focusing on these two random people in their house having sex, and I'm just like, I don't need this part. I don't need this focus. You could have kept the camera behind the actors facing into the house, or in front of the actors as they're watching and talking about it. That would have been fine. I did not need the actual scene of them in there. That was just weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like, I don't disagree with you on that one. But, like, I did have fun with the movie. Like, It was goofy and it was over the top, and it's not something I ever have to go watch again, but it was fun.
But it's just, like you said, it has, like, good one. Like, when they're getting ready for the heist and it's like, oh, where's the gloves? We need gloves. It's like, man, it's the future. And he just gives him fake fingerprints. And that was a good one. I think it was like, I think he was supposed to be like Lincoln's fingerprints or some shit like that. I can't remember.
He did say something like, now you're blah, blah, blah.
I feel like he said, like, hello, President Lincoln, or something like that.
Yeah. I can't remember, like, he was obviously, like, a dead, famous person. And then, just the look that everyone gave when they're listening to, Lowrider getting ready to do the heist.
Oh, yeah, like, all of the original crew is all into it, and, like, all of, like, the brothers' crew is just like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? I also forgot that was the movie where that Nicolas Cage scene is from, where, like, he's all, like, eyes closed, like, focused, and then, like, does the hand thing and, like, snaps out of it.
Yeah.
Because, like, that is, like, one of those, like, iconic Nick Cage, like, just scenes you see. And, did not realize that's where it was from.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that really stood out about it?
Vinnie Jones's lines at the very end.
Oh yeah, the Silent Bob moment.
Yeah,
and Nick Cage's response of like, "I thought you were from Long Beach."
Yeah.
I also like that he was a fucking like mortician morgue worker for like his like straight and narrow job.
Yeah.
There was some other fun stuff in there. A lot of like the interactions with like the younger crew that was just bad at everything. Mm-hmm. Like the one dude stealing the car just because he thought it was a good idea and it was full of fucking heroin.
I love that scene was ridiculous. I love the scene where you were talking about where the brother hooks up the villain's cars to the semi. They go into the diner because the cop car is there, which means which I assumed meant the cops were in the diner. But Nick Cage, they weren't. I don't know where the cops were, but Nick Cage is just sitting there yelling like, yeah, you couldn't, basically saying you can't come in here and shoot me up and do anything because they're there. When, like, the fucking cops are there. When you say that, why aren't the cops turning around saying, oh, somebody's trying to shoot you up?
So he never said shoot. He just said you can't do anything to me. But the cops were in there because when the car gets pulled away, they stand up from a booth and go outside.
But, like, why did the cops not turn around and be like, oh, who are you mocking? What's going on?
They're LAPD?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
That's the only reason I can give you. Dude, that cop in the car chase was not a great actor either.
Which one?
The first one that was really chasing him that gets hit by, like, the bus.
I don't really remember.
He just So he makes the turn, and then the bus T-bones him, and he has the very scripted reaction of look scared and throw his hands up. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Timothy Oliphant, when they're on the pier, running up to the guy who's just been sent through a wall, and he's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Take it easy. You just went through a wall." And I don't know why. It makes me laugh so much. Like, you're fine. You went through a wall. Stop.
Yeah, he does. He says something like, "Are you okay?" And the guy says yes, and he goes, "Are you sure you just went through a wall?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Timothy Olyphant. He is fun in most things.
Yeah, he's great. He's so great. And if you ever get a chance, this is going to plug, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. If you ever get a chance to listen to any of those where Timothy's on there, because Conan O'Brien and Timothy Oliphant are actual real life friends. They're just ragging on each other the entire time, and it's some of the best, like, hours of comedy I've ever listened to.
Well, that's fun. Anything else you want to say about Gone in 60 Seconds, though?
No, it lived up to what I remember it being.
Drew?
No.
All right. Well, in that case, Drew, what is your pick for next time?
The first one I could find that was on streaming that wasn't a rental, Face Off.
Oh, what is Face Off on?
Paramount also, I think.
Okay, that's fine. I forgot to cancel it, and it fucking renewed anyway, so I have it for a month.
Same.
Nice.
It's funny, like, I had a calendar reminder. I apparently set the calendar... I usually set the calendar reminders for the day before. I apparently messed up and set it for the day of.
Oops.
And it charged me first thing in the fucking morning.
Damn.
And it was one of those, like, Google gave me or not Google, because I did it through Amazon this time, gave me the option of, like, I could have requested, like, a partial refund. But I'm like, oh, fucking whatever. Like...
You're probably gonna need it over the next month.
I kind of looked at it, I'm like, I did kind of want to try and watch some of the Mission Impossibles. I'm like, and if I get bored enough, I might try and watch the Halo show.
Yeah. Look, this is where they get you. This is where streaming services get you. You get one auto bill pay, and guess what? I still have Peacock. So
I already canceled Paramount Plus, so it will end at the first week of July or something like that.
I still have to cancel Peacock because I haven't touched it since we've used it.
Yeah, no, I canceled that right away. But that's awesome. Face Off, fantastic fucking movie.
I have never seen it.
Oh, that you're in for a fucking treat, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is peak Travolta Cage.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I feel like though, I feel like you have to pick Con Air next.
They're like, I want to. So the problem is, I was loosely scrolling through stuff, and like I kind of want to go in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, we are doing a lot of early Cage, so like doing a later Cage or like a non-action-y Cage would be nice.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I kind of either want to go like early, like comedy-esque Cage, because he did some like comedy stuff in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Or some of the like slightly more recent stuff, maybe like Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never seen it. I would. That is one that I would check and see like what the general consensus is on first, because I don't know if that was in the period where his movies were real bad or not.
It was like around the beginning of it, so it might not it might not be good, but it also might not be bad.
Yeah, like
kind of
had I not just watched Pig last year, we would 1,000% be watching Pig, because that movie was amazing.
Yeah.
But like he has so many like Wicker Man, fucking Mandy.
I got a proposal. Why not just call it the Cage Club for a couple of more weeks and just keep going through Cage movies?
I mean, we could. I am not directly opposed to that.
Just watch more and more Nick Cage movies over the next couple of months until we at least get through all of the ones that are available on streaming services. And then maybe pick one or two rental movies throughout that. Or we each pick a rental movie throughout the course of watching all the Cage movies.
Yeah, like, I'm not opposed to that. Like, his movies they're not all, like, I said it in the group chat earlier. His movies are not always good, but they are always at least entertaining for one reason or another. Like, even the Ghost Rider sequel, like, specifically the sequel, that movie is fucking terrible. He is still very entertaining in it.
Yeah.
I would not subject any of us to that shit. Same thing with, like, Knowing and Next. Like, while he can be entertaining in those movies are just fucking bad, and I don't ever want to watch them again.
Yeah, knowing's interesting. Like the ending of Knowing is really where it gets me. Where I'm just like, all right, I feel like that paid off. It's interesting and intrigues me. But like Next is like I said, Next is a movie that's lived in my brain ever since I've seen it, and that's not a good thing about that. It's fucking time travel. So,
and he did have like a stretch in the '90s where he was in a lot of. I don't know if they're necessarily like highly rated movies, but they're movies that people really fucking like. Like The Rock, Face Off, Con Air, Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah. I really want to watch The Rock now that we've been talking about it so much, but I'm also at the same time like, but if they want to watch it, then like that means I'm gonna have to watch it again, which I'm not against watching it again, but it means I'd have to rent it again. So I'm like, all right, I'll wait until we're done Nick Cage just in case. But like, The Rock is such a good movie.
Oh, I wonder if Vampire's Kiss is on anything. I have to look.
Never even heard of that one.
It's a 1988 black comedy horror film. I guarantee you have heard the name before because Alex 100% talked about it on the Beastcast.
Okay. I'm sure I've heard the name.
Yeah. Like, I remember him talking about it, and I think even, like, talking a little bit about the plot of the movie. But yeah, that is one of those movies that I meant before where, like, he had, like this bit in, like, the mid to late 80s into the early 90s where he did some, like, more comedy things. Like Raising Arizona, Peggy Sue Got Married. Yeah. Just some stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so where were we? That was that.
Face Off.
Sorry.
In 2 weeks.
Face Off. Right. Face Off in 2 weeks. Rich, you watched a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So, unfortunately I had to cancel my subathon and everything. So I ended up just resting all weekend and watching a bunch of stuff that I've been meaning to watch or wanting to check out. We'll start with the D&D movie because I don't have much more to add to it than what Cobb already said. It is an absolutely fun movie. It's not the best movie. It's not the worst movie. It's got a great cast. It's got a good, like, story. Like, it was fun and entertaining. And worth the watch. The one thing that Cobb did not mention because he did not check it was something that the movie, kind of sneaks in on that every DM does. Is the first map was a wiener map. And I was so excited to see that. Now, obviously it doesn't look exactly like a shaft and balls, but it's supposed to represent a wiener map, I swear. Like, they did that on purpose.
It probably is. I did not catch that. Like, I didn't even recognize it when you shared the picture of it.
Yeah. It's very early in the movie. Like, it's literally, like, one of the first couple of things you see. It's while that he's explaining his situation to the tribunal. But yeah, everything else is great. I love all, like, the D&D humor, all the D&D throwbacks. I was a little let down with, because everyone was talking about the gelatinous cube, and I kind of felt a little let down with that. The fact that, like, it just kind of sat there. It didn't move. It didn't actually try to fight or anything. It just was, it didn't, to me, feel like it was a gelatinous cube. It felt to me like it was a trap and not the actual enemy, if that makes sense.
It behaved like a gelatinous cube, like they jumped into it and they were stuck in it.
Yeah, but and they dissolved, but gelatinous cube can move, and gelatinous cube can do more than just stay there. And so to me, like, it felt more like a trap and less like an actual gelatinous cube monster. Is really, like, my only critique for that thing. I was excited to see fucking Displacer Beast, because those things don't really get a lot of love.
I have no idea what that is.
It was the Panther thing that they were fighting inside the what's it called? The gauntlet. The Mimic, of course, is great. I really loved that the whole final battle sequence that they did too.
Like, it felt a little like MCU-y at that point, but like it all, like, not in a bad way, just in a sort of, it was very like by the books as far as that goes. Yeah,
but that's also like that. What happens there is what, like, the one thing that, like, players like should try to pull from this movie is, like, this is how the combat should feel. Even though all you're doing is rolling a die and you're hitting, this is when it's like, alright, explain what you're doing. Because, like, they did feel like they were all going in turns and, like, getting their chance, and she was reacting and everything else, and, like, it all felt like, alright, this is how D&D combat actually is, and it's not just oh, I swing my axe and I hit. And to me, I was just like, this is really cool. And I like how they did this final fight. You're right, it did feel very Avengers-y, but it also gave me a sense of, like, everyone was getting their turn.
Yeah, and, like, again, not, like, it was not a bad thing. Like, it worked for what it was doing, but it just felt very by the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there were only so many ways you could have done that fight. At least, like, the effects in that part were actually pretty good compared to, like I said, you know, there were certain parts of that movie where the effects were not good. Like, the tabaxis did not look good.
It's not even just the tabaxis. Any of the, with the exception of the Dragonborn, any of the non-human, or any of the costume, I guess, or the furry races, kind of just looked bad. The tabaxis, the Aarakocra, like,
the Aarakocra reminded me of the birds from the ninja season of Power Rangers.
Oh, the Tengu Warriors.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say the Skeksis from Dark Crystal.
Actually, yeah, you know what? That too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they didn't, I thought the costumes were cool, but I feel like with a Hollywood production, those were fairy costumes. They could have done a lot better.
Yeah, like, especially when you look at some of the effects they used for, like, the Druid. Like, the Druid didn't always look awesome. Like, you could sometimes look at it and be like, that is absolutely CG. But, like, it looked better
it looked good enough. Yeah, it looked good enough to work.
The smaller creatures more than the bigger ones, too. Like, the owlbear looked a little faker than anything else, but also, it's a fucking fake creature. So,
yeah,
of course.
It's an owlbear. It's a giant owl the size of a bear that walks on all fours. Like,
and frankly, as far as the owlbear goes, that was the Hulk scene I was talking about in that end fight.
Yeah.
Where she turns into the owlbear and fucking does, like, the Hulk smash to the villain.
Yeah. That was great.
Like, okay.
I loved that. I love that part.
Yeah, like, it did get a chuckle out of me. But, like, you know, it's been done before. But, yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, too, and it didn't, like, you know, miss the mark for somebody who's, like, actually into that stuff.
Yeah. The next thing I watched was Trigun Stampede. I made it through season 1. Cobb, have you watched any of it? I know you were gonna try
not even
to.
A little bit yet.
Yeah, so it's really good. The animation, like, it took me at, like, the first episode to get through, like, the character animation, but after that it was just like, alright, this really all feels good and works. The show itself is a different take on the story of Trigun. I'm in a sense more modernized, and it actually goes into explaining more of the world and Vash and Knives, more than the original series. This is only 12 episodes, I believe, for the first season, and I understand the entire series more now than I did after watching the entire series of the first series.
Is it like the season, or is it just the first core?
It's the season. It's the first, or like it's half. It's the first half of the original series. So remember when it would be spoilers if I told you that, kind of.
Okay, I just looked it up. So yeah, they announced at the end of the 12th episode that a final phase is in production.
Yeah.
So they split, like, a full season into 2 cores.
Yeah. And so, like, I like what they did with this. I like the changes that they made to the story. I like the changes that they made to, like, I was a little hesitant about the changes they made to, like, Knives and Legato and all of those people. But overall, this show itself, I had a lot of fun watching. I thought it was really good. I like that she's not an insurance adjuster now, and that she's, like, a reporter. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's just not really a lot I can say about it without, like, spoiling too much. Especially since, like, I know essentially how it's possibly gonna wrap up, because we all do, because we've seen it. And it kind of follows those same beats, just in a different methodology. So, for instance, later on in the original series, when they had the, what is their names? It was the one giant dude with the weird forehead, and he could like throw his fist.
Oh yeah. And Vash beat him by like shooting the fist off
Shooting
course.
the fist, yeah. They had those characters were in like episode 2, whereas in the original series they were like later on in the season. They were like midway through the series.
Yeah, like it was before it took like the serious turn, but
yeah. Well, it was
like,
just as it was taking that serious turn, because it was when Wolfwood, because I believe Wolfwood was in that portion. It was when Wolfwood was trying to explain to him, like, look, you're gonna have to kill. Like, eventually you're gonna have to kill, and it was part of teaching Vash, like, to stop some things, you're gonna have to kill someone. And even though he didn't kill, and it was like Vash still trying to show Wolfwood, like, no, you don't have to kill everyone. So these two show up in like the second episode. And then, like, there's a whole thing with them for, like, an episode or two. And it's really cool, like, the slight changes that they did, and, like, just learning more about Vash. Because, like, even in the original series, they don't really explain much about them. And now, like, I finally understand, like, why Vash is different, and why he's essentially immortal, and hasn't aged.
Because he's a plant.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, because I don't recall them really explaining that very well in the original series.
I don't know that it necessarily was, but it's one of those things that at the time that I watched Trigun, like, I was super into that stuff, so I just kind of read up on it. Yeah.
And, like, I just watched the series, and I don't remember them explaining, like, oh yeah, he can conversate with these reactors because he is basically one of them.
I think it was also, like, did you watch it in the English dub or the sub?
It was the English dub.
So it might have just been a thing that they didn't necessarily, like, dub well for the original either, because that is an early dub when they still weren't very good at it.
Yeah. I mean, it was also, like, the original series, they only had, like, one episode of backstory, and that was the one episode about Rem.
And when he goes up to the thing in the sky.
Yeah. And that's about it. Like, they don't really go in this one, like, they even explain, like, what the plants are in this. And talk about them and how they get their power, and that, like, it's a really good change and works very well. And I feel like if you're a fan of the original series, you're going to enjoy this series because it just expands on, like, what we already know. It changes things up, but it changes things up for the better.
Well, that's good. I do want to get around to it. Like, when we talked about it before, like, I want to get around to watching the original again first.
Yeah.
Because it has been so long. But, like, the last couple of months, we've just had so much going on. Like, we just caught up, like I'll talk about it in a little bit, we just caught up on My Hero.
Yeah.
Like, that show finished, like, 4 months ago.
And as far as I know, because I don't think at least it's not on Hulu, the sub, it's only subtitled still for Trigun. There's no dub for it yet.
It has been dubbed. I don't know if the whole thing's out. But it's
unless
Crunchyroll.
It's probably just on Crunchyroll. Because I just found out that because I'm about to get into where I'm like an episode or two into Demon Slayer season 2. Season 3 is only on Crunchyroll. It's not on Hulu, so I'm gonna have to get Crunchyroll to watch the rest of Demon Slayer. But yeah, it looks like
every episode is dubbed on Crunchyroll.
Okay, and I think Johnny Young Bosch still does Vash in this Stampede.
He may be the only one that is the original voice actor.
That's fine.
The original English voice actor.
That's fine. He might be the only one who's still voice acting.
That is fair.
But yeah, the last thing I watched was I finally took the time to get back into Demon Slayer, and I watched the Mugen Train arc. I didn't watch the movie. Because I reached out on Twitter. I was like, are the dubs worth it, or is it subbed? I've watched the first season dubbed, and I thought it was fine. I wasn't 100% sold on the first season. Like, I think, don't get me wrong, like, I think the series is good, but just there's something about it that, like, I don't know, disinterests me a little bit.
I think your feelings on Demon Slayer are my feelings on Attack on Titan.
Maybe. But the one difference is, like, maybe, and yeah, the one difference would be I like it enough to keep going. Whereas, like, you're just losing interest in Attack on Titan entirely. I've also lost interest on Attack on Titan entirely because the last season is longer than the original series itself. But that's a complaint I've made a million times already.
Look, they're only on they're only on Attack on Titan, the final season, part 3, set 1. It's fine.
Exactly. But I don't know what it is. I've like tried to come to terms with it. Like, there's just a few things about the show that I'm like not totally sold on. And some of it is like the meta humor that they have, like when Rengoku is talking to what's his name? Tanjiro. And he's like, he gets, like, the scene gets all big, and he's talking all triumphant. And Tanjiro's just like, how did you get so big? And, like, that happens twice. I'm just like, I didn't find that funny. I didn't find that silly. And then there's just occasional bits of attempted humor, in my opinion, where, like, the lines around the characters get thick, dark lines around them. And, like, the humor itself is not funny, and so then the art takes me out of it entirely. And I'm just like, this is not good. When the show gets serious, it gets serious, and I like that. But I feel like the show attempts too much with some of its humor aspect. And, like, it pulls me away. And that's where I'm just like, alright, well, this is kind of... This is pushing me away from... Like, not pushing me away from wanting to keep watching it, but just pushing me away in general of the show. And then just friggin', fucking blonde-haired kid, I just can't stand him. Every time he speaks a word, I just hate him so much.
Which, I mean, like, I get that. He does not bother me all that much. I will say that the Mugen Train arc was bad compared to the movie. Similar to Dragon Ball. Like, the Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F, significantly better movies than they were arcs. Like, there just wasn't enough going on to stretch it to 6 episodes.
Yeah, and I feel like if I had watched the movie, it would have clicked more for me, because it would have been more consistent, and it would have actually ended faster, because I had to deal with like commercial break shit and credits and this and that. Like, it would have been... I would have gotten through it, like, let's say maybe 10 minutes faster, but it would have been just straight through. Whereas I'm watching it on Hulu, and there's they have the cold opens, and then there are some instances where they don't end the series until after the episode, till after the credits, with an additional scene afterwards, which then, like, I have to sit there and watch the credits. And that happens in the next half of the season too. There, like, I might have missed a thing here or there, because the credits roll, and I'm like, alright, next episode. But, like, I sat there and watched one, and it's like, oh, this is an actual important situation here during the credits that I should be watching, and I've just skipped the post-credits for the last 2 episodes.
Yep. Yeah, you would have 100% been better off with the movie. I don't know that the movie's on Hulu, though.
I mean, well, the problem is I would have had to pay for it anywhere, probably.
No, it streams on Crunchyroll.
It does it. It's like I would have had. I don't have Crunchyroll, so
that's what I mean. Like, where you watched it, I think that was the only option you had. Yeah. But Crunchyroll's pretty good in a lot of cases about getting the movies. They're not always immediately when it like releases. Like, it usually has that, like, well, we'd rather you buy this first thing. Mm-hmm. But looking at it, so the Mugen Train arc was 7 episodes. So there's at least, like, it's like an hour of extra stuff that doesn't, because the movie's is just under 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's 1 hour, 56 minutes.
Yeah.
So, like, there's like an hour of additional shit in the arc that just doesn't make it better.
And at least half of that is opening and closing credits and cold opens of the last scene of the last episode.
Yeah. I will say the next arc, the Entertainment District, I thought was really good.
Yeah, I think I'm halfway through the Entertainment District at the moment.
Oh, okay, so you actually already started.
Tanjiro is in the middle of fighting the demon right now. And I'm like, all right, this is better. Like, they didn't stick to that humor as strongly. Like, the first episode is 43 minutes long, and, like, it sets everything up, and it's a good setup.
They keep doing that. The long first episodes, the next season, the first episode is also, like, double length.
Mm-hmm. And, like, it works. It definitely does work. And, like, it is better. And I think it's a lot because, like, they have cut down a little bit on the humor. And fucking, why am I forgetting his name?
Zenitsu?
Zenitsu hasn't been as annoying in it. Also, he's missing at this point, so I'm happy.
I will say him and Inosuke have some cool moments in the arc.
Yeah.
From what I remember, at least. The Hashira is also really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like this Hashira.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that dude is a fucking just tank.
And I think that was also a little bit of my issue with the Mugen Train arc was they try to push you to have like an investment in Rengoku. And I don't, maybe because I already knew that he was dying going into it, spoiler alert, everyone's seen it at this point. Maybe I already knew that he was dying going into it, that it kind of kept me at arm's length of really caring about him. Like, I thought he was a very cool character for sure. But I was just like, alright, well, when's he gonna die? When's he gonna die? And it's like, the arc itself saves his entire battle for just the last episode. For an enemy that has not even seen the light of day throughout the entire series, or season. And that to me is just like awkward.
Yeah, and so going into it, when we watched it, we actually saw the movie in theaters, whenever it came to theaters, and I want to say it was like summer 2021, they had like the limited release. May have been last summer. I forget. But I did not know what was going to happen at the time. And like, I did get a little attached to him, and was, even in the 2-hour movie, like, he was an interesting character.
Yeah.
He was one of the first characters you meet that is like legitimately powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't a bad guy. Or Nezuko.
Yeah.
And like, he was super likable, and then, his ultimate fate happens. The Sound Hashira, I feel like he is actually even, at least the way it seems in this, like, he's even more powerful than Rengoku was. Or at least, like, has more going on. But like, he's just fucking crazy with this, cause I think you're probably at the point already, if like the fights are already starting, where like, what's his fate? Tanjiro even realized that like he was just legitimately in the way because the Sound Hashira was like protecting him and fighting at the same time.
The Sound Hashira hasn't showed up yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's literally the fight between Tanjiro and the enemy first. Tanjiro left his house to go meet up with Inosuke and encountered her at some point. The strap on his sister's box broke, so he's like, I have to put you down, I can't hold you while fighting. And so he goes to fight, and I don't think the Sound Hashira has shown up in the fight yet. It's probably going to be in the next episode.
So you are actually very early in it still. You're not halfway in.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably like 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay. But yeah, like, that, it was a good arc. I liked it. I do think it was significantly better than the Mugen Train arc. And probably, honestly, like, it was probably better than the first season, too, because the first season did drag a little bit in places.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, the newest season, Swordsmith Village, we only watched the first episode, but there's some cool shit that was set up in that first episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it, but it's probably gonna be a seasonal show for me, so I'll probably wait until the season's over to watch it. It's not...
And you might have to with Hulu. Like, I don't know, is Hulu getting season 3 as it airs?
It's exclusively Crunchyroll, from what I've read. Yeah, because normally Hulu gets the sub as it airs. It's, from what I read, Hulu is not getting... Hulu is dumb and has season 1, and then the Mugen Train arc is its own thing, and then the Entertainment District arc is its own thing. Like, they're not all connected to each season, like, as, like, season 1, and then you hit the drop-down box, go to season 2, drop-down box, season 3. Or it's not, like, drop-down box for each arc. It's straight up a different series, essentially, on Hulu.
That is how Crunchyroll has it set up, too.
So,
Crunchyroll, when you do the drop-down, season 1, 26 episodes. Season 2, Demon Slayer, the movie, Mugen Train, 1 episode. Season 2, Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train arc, 7 episodes.
Yeah. Season
2, Demon Slayer, Entertainment District, 11 episodes. Yeah. And then currently, Season 3, finally, Demon Slayer, Swordsmith Village arc, and they have 9 episodes out so far.
Yeah. And there was also a movie, I believe, but that, like, movie
I don't know that there has been a second movie yet. I think the Mugen Train might have been the only one.
No, I'm pretty sure there was. I remember hearing something about there being, but it's the same thing as Mugen Train, but like, it's like a little bit of the last season, a little bit of the first season or something, or the next season or something like that. I don't 100% remember.
It actually does look like the Mugen Train might be the only one they've done so
Okay.
far. They might have been planning to do it, but didn't, maybe?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was rumored they were going to do it because they did it for the Mugen Train arc.
I'm just going to say, if you're going to release your movie as a full-on arc, just don't release the movie or don't release the arc. Like, don't do both, because that's kind of a waste of people's time. You know what, though?
The first Demon Slayer movie broke, like, every anime movie record, like, in the world.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most popular series right now.
It is.
So they're 100% milking it for what it's worth.
Yeah. It's just...
I don't disagree with that. Like, I'd rather have the movie than the season when it's something like that. Like, that arc worked better as a movie.
I don't know, it's weird. I just don't understand why it's so big. Why this show is so big.
I don't know. I like it a lot. I could say, like, legitimately, I can say the same thing about Attack on Titan. Like, I don't hate it. I do not understand why it's as popular as it is. I have watched 40 episodes and do not understand any of the hype.
I think a lot of it could be product of its time. Like, when Attack on Titan came out, it was a much different sort of anime than any other anime that had ever been released. A lot more brutal, gory, things like that. A lot more serious. And I think this anime came out, or hit Netflix during the pandemic. And a lot of people who had a lot of time on their hands were like, well, what is this Demon Slayer I'm hearing people talk about? And a lot of people watched it and discovered, oh, anime's not just for children. This is really good. Let's keep watching.
Yeah, it looks like season 1 aired from April to September 2019. So yeah, it would have been prime, like, finding it on streaming platforms during the pandemic.
Yeah, and
because the whole thing would have been out.
I totally feel like there's a lot of people who did not, and I'm not saying this as a bad thing, but I do feel like there's a lot of people who weren't anime fans who became anime fans with Demon Slayer being their first anime. And so it's like, alright, well, this is great, and this is why people are, like, getting super excited for it. Because a lot of the people that I do know that do enjoy anime and are big anime fans who have seen Demon Slayer, they're like, I understand not really digging the first season. And everyone I've talked to who has said that have watched the subsequent seasons afterwards and have enjoyed it more and more each time. And I'm like...
Yeah, I do think this, like, the show gets better as it goes. Like, early Demon Slayer, like, I thought the animation is really good and the world is interesting. But it isn't until, like, the later half of the first season where, like, stuff actually starts happening. And I'm like, okay, no, there's some cool stuff going on. There's some cool action. Like the forest fight in the first season with, like, the spider people and all. Like, all that stuff was super cool. Most of the fights in the entertainment district, I think, were actually really cool also.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think that's all watched, I think.
All right. Well, to wrap up quick anime corner, I finally got around to finishing My Hero Season 6.
Finally?
Yeah, like, so, you know, I was thinking about this the other day. I think the problem is, my TV does not have a Crunchyroll app. So, Crunchyroll is on the Roku. It is the only thing we really use the Roku for. So when I turn on the TV and hit the home button and see all the streaming apps, I do not see Crunchyroll. I do not think, oh, I wonder if there's anything to watch on Crunchyroll.
You don't watch My Hero on Hulu?
No, I never have.
I watch
it dubbed, and the dub does not hit Hulu right away.
There was a while that it was simul-dubbed, and then it was a 2-week delay after that for each season. This season was the first time where it was a 2-week delay for the dub, which I think is already what Crunchyroll has, is a 2-week delay for the dub.
It did, but at one point when I was checking, Hulu did not have the dub while, at the time, Funimation had an episode dubbed already. But yeah, so to be fair, like, I don't really use Hulu. Like, I just don't like it.
I use Hulu. Honestly, I'm starting to use Hulu more often than I use Netflix. Netflix is really only to go to bed with at this point.
So Erica uses Netflix and Hulu. I almost don't use either of them ever. I don't use a lot of the streaming platforms, period. When we're watching stuff, a lot of what we watch is like HBO and Amazon for the most part. There's a handful of things on Netflix throughout like a year that we watch, maybe. But like Netflix is more of the, we have nothing else to watch. Let's see what stupid comedy or cooking show is on there that we haven't watched already.
Mm-hmm.
It's never like it's never like the I'm gonna pay attention to this thing.
Yeah.
And Hulu, unless we are completely out of things to watch and we're just looking for something to watch, I don't even open the Hulu app up because historically, for me at least, their original content is not interesting, and I don't really rewatch sitcoms on purpose. Like you do it like as like background noise and stuff a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. So like I have zero reason to watch 90% of what Hulu has on it.
Yeah, I mean it's right now because the Goldbergs is over.
Right.
I mean, everything's off right now. So really, the only thing that I'm consistently watching when it comes back eventually would be Bob's Burgers, and maybe if it gets picked up, Animal Control. But like, I do watch a few of the things that do come out weekly. But like, yeah, it's there's a lot of anime on Hulu. Honestly, I feel like Hulu has a much better selection of anime in general than Netflix, at least.
So.
Well, yeah, you have Crunchyroll, which I don't. So it's for me, it's just like, all right, Hulu it is.
Yeah, and like that 100% makes sense. Like if it has what you want to watch, like why wouldn't you watch it then? I watch enough, like not lately, just again because I just always fucking forget to even open Crunchyroll. But like Crunchyroll was super useful because it had everything, and they started doing once they like started merging with Funimation. They also started getting the dubs for most stuff. So I can just be subscribed to that and watch basically whatever I want. I think the only two things that like we kept up with were Spy Family, Chainsaw Man, and I've been keeping up with Witch from Mercury, the Gundam show that's running right now. But yeah, we finished season 6. So the last thing I had watched before was we got up to the end of the war. So like everyone in the hospital basically.
Mm-hmm.
But like the episode that ended with everybody is now in the hospital, and like we're kind of seeing the aftermath, and we know like some people had died. We knew like a bunch of people were just like beat up really bad.
Yeah.
So the first episode we started watching on Sunday, I guess it was. Yeah, I think we watched the entire second half of the season on Sunday. So like,
oh my god, that was such an emotional Sunday for you.
So like the first like 2 episodes back were like the Todoroki stuff. Before going into Vigilante Deku.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, I know all this already. I've read it. Like, I am up to date on the manga for it. But I feel like I've said this before. While I like the manga, it is really hard to fucking follow. At least over the last, like, year or so, the release schedule is all over the place. It used to be weekly. It's still sometimes weekly. Sometimes it's just gone for a month. Sometimes it has two chapters, like, back-to-back weeks, and then 2 weeks off, and then a chapter, and then a month off. Like, it's hard to even remember where you left off when it's only, like, 12 pages. Mm-hmm. But, like, the creator is, like, that series is so big, and it is in the final arc, that I feel like the creator is just being pulled in a million directions. So, like, yeah. I get it. Like, he is responsible, like, while he has assistants to help with, like, the artwork and all, he is still essentially responsible for everything. I also don't like the art in the manga. It's good art. It is not good for portraying a story. Mm. It is very fucking hard to tell what's going on. It's so chaotic.
Yeah.
So seeing some of this stuff actually animated was just really cool, and the animation during the Vigilante arc was really good.
It was.
Like, seeing Deku take out Muscular in one hit was just super fucking cool. After their last fight, like most of the early fights, Deku nearly fucking killed himself trying to, like, win.
Yeah.
And now this dude is stronger than he was before, and he takes him out in one punch.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, at the end of the fucking season, you get to see Star and Stripe, and she's fucking awesome.
Yeah, such a great friggin' scene. Like, great scene to end the season on. It's amazing.
Yeah, like, that bit, I just love the fact that there's, like, the Council of Countries. Like, it's not even the UN, I don't think. It's just, like, that shadow council of, like, all the countries talking to each other. Like, oh, well, should we go help Japan? Like, this guy's a problem. It's like, yeah, but if our heroes leave our country, then, like, our countries aren't going to be defended. And they show, like, all, like, the heroes you've seen in, like, movies and stuff. Like, the the Egyptian paper dude who's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They're like, well, our heroes want to help. Like, they want to go help Japan and All Might. And, like, America's just like, our hero left already.
Yeah, we couldn't stop her, so it's like we're at this point asking for forgiveness.
Yeah, like, she took a whole squadron of fighter jets and is just on her way to Japan.
Yeah.
Like, none of us could have stopped her. It's fine.
Yeah. There were so many scenes in that season, especially it was the episode where it was 1A versus Deku. And then it was the episode where it was 1A convincing the refugees to allow Deku to sleep and stay there. Like, both of those episodes were just basically tear fests for me. Because, like,
they were very emotional, just like, because you even had, like, you had the characters that never really, like, not never, but very rarely had moments, like, Sero, the Monkey Tail Karate Kid, even Mineta. Like, basically, like, catching Deku and trying to, like, convince him, like, what's going on. And then that, like, final, like, of Todoroki, like, the scene where, like, you only see Todoroki and Bakugo. And you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, they're the two that are probably closest to Deku because they're essentially the big three for that class.
Yeah.
Are, like, working to, like, catch up to him. And then, like, when it finally, like, breaks apart, like, they're actually just there to help push Ida forward.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good moment.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like, even remembering it now, I'm just like, oh my god, why am I getting a little choked up because of remembering these scenes in a fucking anime about teenagers? Like, they were
you're a fucking child.
Yes, but they're such good scenes, and they're so high emotional. And then the next episode is basically Uraraka Ochako just saying, like, hey, he's our friend and he needs help, and like pouring her heart out, and like seeing Deku's mom the way she is and how sad, and it's just like, oh my god, another sad fucking episode that, like, I am leaning towards probably doing my rewatch soon, because I have now 6 seasons to go through. I might even just start skipping episode sets here or there. I mean, it's a lot, and so, like, maybe skipping the like, some of the more, even though that none of them are really filler, but some of the more fillery episodes, like the first episode of every season where it's just a reintroduction, and like the extra courses for Bakugo and them, and like there's a couple of others that I'm just like, all right, I probably don't need to watch these again. Like, I'm probably gonna skip a few, but I'm like, all right, it's getting to the time that I might want to watch these so that, like, I have that rewatch done in the English dub before the next season comes out, because I'm assuming the next season should be maybe December. I don't know if they've even announced it yet. It might be like a year from now, because they normally take like a year off after the end of the season. So,
ever since COVID, they've been doing like a full year. For a while there, it was like end in the spring, start back up in the fall.
Yeah. So, like, but there's so much that I kind of want to spread it out instead of sitting there and watching. So I'm leaning on doing my rewatch, and I know when I get to that stuff in the English dub, I'm gonna be blubbering full again. I'm just gonna be like, oh my god, this is just holy shit. These scenes and, like, everything that Deku goes through, it's just like, it's so strange to say that it's, like, super powerful. It's wild.
Yeah, like, I did really enjoy, like, that whole back half of the season. I'm trying to remember if there was any other. Oh, All Might. All Might was fucking heartbreaking through that part. Like, especially like when Deku is being kind of like a little dick near like the end of it. When like he's just in his own head too much. And I think even Bakugo is the one that like calls it out. Like, yeah, you can't let him do that. Like, he gets too in his own head and thinks what he's doing is actually the right thing. He needs somebody there to like pull him back to make him realize that like he can't like hold the whole burden.
Yeah.
But like All Might like falling into like the rain, like apologizing to him and stuff like that. And Deku just like taking off, being like, I'm as strong as you were. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm good on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was very sad.
It was such a good series. Such a good series. Like, I don't understand why there's so many people out there that, like, hate on the series. That call it it's childish, or call it, like, not childish, but, like, I guess it's because it's the new Naruto.
Oh, that's the thing. It's the big shonen. It's super popular. It does not have the same artistic styling as, like, a Demon Slayer, which, you know, like, that show gets extra credit for just the style that it has. But yeah, like, it follows teenagers, and it's not by the books, but it is very shonen of, you know, there's humor, and then there's a big fight, and then there's some humor, and then there's a big fight, and then there's some downtime where things get a little serious, but then it's, here's some more jokes, and here's some more fights. Like, the end of this season even, once Deku was back at the school, he was, like, sitting there, like anxious because of how he left things with All Might, and rather than it being kind of like a more somber scene, the camera pans over, and, like, it's just All Might, like, pressed up against the window in, like, kind of like an oddly funny scene.
Yeah.
But, yeah, people are going to shit on anything. Like, it's just what happens. But it's a fun show. I hope that so I did the math. Depending on when this actually starts, like, when the next season 7 starts, and where the manga is at, it could potentially be the last season.
Mm-hmm.
So the recent season, the amount of the manga that it covered is about what will be done if the show came back in the fall. So if for some reason the manga wraps up, say, September, October, we would have just enough left for a final season, unless they, like, really stretched it out. If the manga isn't done yet, or, like, it doesn't appear like it's going to be done anytime soon, I could see them stretching out the next season a bit more and kind of just taking it slower, probably adding a little more filler to it. Hopefully it's more like, hopefully it's decent filler where, like, they're just adding more layers to what's going on rather than, like, what Bleach or Naruto did, where it's like, oh yeah, war's happening. Let's tell this story from 6 years ago when Naruto was 12 and had to go fucking fight a robot version of himself.
Yeah.
Which I have a feeling, like, My Hero will probably do it all right. Like, I can't see them breaking it like that, especially because it is a seasonal show and they can plan that shit out ahead of time. But, like, up to date with the manga, like, it's very scattered and all over the place, and I'm hoping that when they do animate it, they can regroup some things and just make it flow a little bit better. Because right now, and for the last, like, 2 years, there's been, like, 6 different fights happening simultaneously, and it's like every other chapter they switch between it. And like I said before, there have been so many, like, delays and skipped weeks. It's hard to remember what the fuck is happening and who's fighting who.
Yeah. So, has that big reveal that everyone was super upset about happened yet?
Which big reveal?
That was, like, everyone was worried was going to be spoiler. And that, like, there's a major... I don't know what it is. I haven't... But it was, like, a few months back. Maybe late last year. Maybe mid last year. There was something that happened in the manga that was like, oh my god. And it blew up the internet. And I kind of had to stay off, like, Twitter and social media for, like, a week.
I do remember what you're talking about. That is not, like, that would be in this next season, most likely.
Okay. That's what I figured.
Yeah, so I want to say that there's about 50 chapters. So, like, the Star and Stripes scene happened in, like, 2021 in the manga.
Okay.
So we've got, like, 2 years or so since then, of not quite weekly.
Yeah.
So, like, by the time it airs, I think there's going to be, like, 60 chapters from where this season ended to potentially where this season would start, if this starts in the fall like the last season did.
Yeah.
If it takes a full year off, even longer or even more. But yeah, I remember what you're talking about. I'm curious to see how they do that too. It could be cool. It could not be cool. We will see. But either way, I've enjoyed My Hero. I am glad we finally sat down and watched it.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys finally got to it. It was an amazing season. Probably the best season so far.
Yeah, it was definitely up there. But I think that'll probably do it for this week. Unless, Drew, did you watch any anime?
Nope.
You gonna start watching anime?
Probably not.
What if you did, though?
I mean...
Anime is
fine. Like,
let's see, is there
some of it's better than others.
Yes, like most things, not all of it is good.
See, what you need to start watching is like Live Alive or that show about the idols, where it's just like a bunch of teenagers trying to become like idols in Japan. I feel like it's music. It's right up your alley.
I mean, we've gone through this every time we've done this to Drew and been like, well, here's this wrestling anime, here's that wrestling anime. He's not going to watch it because we've given him ideas and he hasn't gone to.
Oh, I know, but like those were like legitimate ideas. This was a complete joke. I just told him to watch a show about like fucking 13-year-old girls that want to be idols.
Well, there's that board game one that I told you about, Cobb.
Oh, I think Erica watched a little bit of that. She said it was kind of boring.
Well, yeah, it's a slice of life anime.
Look, there's some good Look, that hockey anime was really bad, but also really good.
Let's see, what's it called? It's like Board Game Club or something like that.
Yeah, it was like After School Board Game Club.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, After School Dice Club. Drew, watch that. After School Dice Club. You like board games?
Let me see.
It's on Hulu.
Somewhere I can watch Tiger Mask W.
Tiger Bunny's on Hulu. That one's superheroes.
What the fuck is Tiger Mask W?
It's a professional wrestling anime.
It's on Crunchyroll.
That had, like, actual New Japan wrestlers in it.
Oh, wow. It was actually kind of long, too. It's at least 36 episodes. 38 episodes, I'm sorry. But yeah, the first season is on Crunchyroll. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a subscription I don't have.
Trials, my friend.
Fair.
You know, there is... If you have a Gmail account, depending on how many letters are in your Gmail account, you could have as many fucking trials as you needed.
To be honest, though, if you're going to use it that many times, just pay.
I mean, free. I think Crunchyroll is actually one of the cheaper ones, though, too. So, there's that. It is not like $16 the way Netflix. But that's going to do it for this week. As we decided earlier, our next book club in 2 weeks is going to be... I forgot already. Face Off. We're going to be watching Face Off. I was looking at the wrong list. I need to look at the list on the right. 2 weeks, we're watching Face Off. But other than that, if you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. Now, if you can't support us there with your dollars, you can help us out by going to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. It all helps. You can find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us emails to social@one-quest.com. And then, Rich, what does your stream schedule look like?
All right, listen, everyone. I will be streaming. Well, you're not going to get this because it's not going to come out until Wednesday. I'll be finishing up Star Ocean tomorrow. See, if we had just waited till tomorrow to record, I would have had that to talk about.
And to be fair, this show won't go up until Thursday.
Yeah, I know. So I'll be finishing Star Ocean on Wednesday, the 7th. I had to postpone my subathon from last week. There was an incident with the pup, and so I wasn't really comfortable playing games at the moment, so I had to postpone it into this week. So on the, what is the 9th, I believe? 10th.
The 10th is Saturday.
On the 10th is going to be my subathon starting around 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Time. He'll have a 3-hour start. Every sub is a half hour. There's going to be stretch goals for follows, subs, things like that. There's going to be a whole, like, bits menu, things like that. Potential, like, playing D&D on live stream if we reach X amount of subs, or X amount of this, X amount of that. Come check it out. Come hang out. We're going to be doing some Super Smash Bros. And some Mario Kart tournaments. I'd appreciate you all being there. Twitch.tv/b_walnuts. Other than that, until my hand fully recovers, probably a lot of Stardew and chill games.
Cool. And with that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See you.
Bye.